comprehensive coverage of the 2016 elections on your election headquarters, on TV, on radio, online and mobile.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that one of the biggest fights George has had in his life was the day he called me at 11 p.m. at night to announce that he was leaving Occupy Ghana. We had a fight that had to be resolved by one of the leading bishops in Accra. And, but once he made up his mind and we let him go, I knew that he was going to win it. You underestimate George in anything at your peril. Now, the thing that people do not realize is that Awutu Senya West has always voted for the president. It is a typical bellwether constituency. It always votes for whoever wins, right? Now, the year Hannah Tese first won, she won her seat, but J. Kufuor won the presidency in that constituency, and they won it twice and then lost it. And so it's always an indicator where, in fact, there are about 8 constituencies in the Western, Central, and Greater Accra region that are complete bellwether. They decide where it goes. Now look at what happened in the Awutu Senya. Look at the swing, the 7,000 difference. And it shows that NDC itself, President Mahama, increased by 1,000. Yet there was a 7,000 swell-up, which came for the MPP. So Awutu Senya increased its votes by 8,000 votes, roughly, almost 9,000 votes, just to tell Ghanaians where the pendulum might be swinging. And so it's a constituency that I have a lot of interest in. I always say that you underestimate George at your peril, you know. But let's see how the rest of the day pans out. But congrats, George. I knew you could do it.
Indeed, and more from Evans in a very short while. But just to make it clear once again, so far we've heard the results from 57 out of the 275 constituencies. There are still 218 to go. So every statistic you've heard about gaining votes, losing votes, all of these statistics could change. But right now there is some more reported confusion at Tain in the Brong Ahafo region. We mentioned this earlier. The youth of the area apparently are not happy with the delays in the counting of the ballot. Well, let's go across and speak to Ruth Ansodamwa, who joins us now. Ruth, good morning. What exactly is the problem that the youth have with the EC's processes?
Kojo, the youth and the people in Tain constituency are agitating seriously about the delayance of the results. So we have the provisional one, but we are waiting for the EC to certify what we have. But there is a delayance. So the youth don't understand why the results are still being delayed. So there are a lot of noise, misunderstanding going here and there between the people. Both parties are here. They are seriously angry.
Ruth, is it the presidential or the parliamentary results that the youth are expecting?
Both results.
Well, the presidential can only be announced by the chairperson of the EC, yes. But I suppose the parliamentary ought to be, as soon as possible, announced by the returning officers there. Have you heard from the returning officers? Have they explained what the cause of the delay is?
The EC addressed the gathering here that it was due to the delay of some of the results from other census, which got in here around 1 a.m. But as of now, we have still not gotten anything. So this is what is making the youth very angry about this delay. And even right now, a pickup just drove in with 2 ballot boxes from nowhere. So they were just putting at the pickup. It was an EC pickup, just putting at the driver and everything. So those boxes were not allowed to be sent in, and the pickup has just drove back to wherever it came from.
Now, Ruth, you say these ballot boxes are from nowhere. Have you asked the EC, the source of these ballot boxes? Have the EC said where these boxes are coming from?
That pickup is the EC pickup. So when it came in, the EC was around, the EC box was around here while the driver brought in those boxes. But the agents around didn't allow the driver to take those boxes because they've already counted everything that is here. So the driver drove back with those boxes that he brought in.
So essentially what you're saying is that every polling station has already been accounted for. in terms of ballot boxes before these two arrived in the EC pickup?
Yes.
Okay, so I think the next thing we need to know is where they came from and what the EC says about them. So as soon as you're able to find that out, Ruth will be coming back to you for more information. For now, thank you very much. So, fascinating development there.
Yes, very fascinating, especially when we know that it is a constituency that has history behind it. Sometimes when you hear it on radio and TV, you tend to, as a viewer and a listener, tend to attach some level of emotion to it. But time is what it is. What is happening is something that characterizes our elections, Ace.
But once there's a delay, nature abhors a vacuum. Once there's a delay, people begin to suspect underhand dealings.
You mean there are some levels of apprehension?
Even if nothing is happening. And this relates to information flow. No, how are you explaining the delay to the people? If you explain it, they would understand it. But in any event, I wonder why anybody's waiting for the EC. I mean, you guys are good boys. You are waiting for certification. The people on the ground know what is happening. They know the game and know what has happened, right? So if you support a party in time and the EC isn't giving you a report, your party people have their pink sheets. It's simple arithmetic, 1 + 2 + 3. Your party people know whether you've won or lost. Apart from maybe the special voting that they might not have. For that, they might depend on the coalition center. But at least on the raw data, your party should be able to tell you. So yes, the EC has delayed, and one would prefer that the delay didn't happen. But really, talk to your party people. They should know.
Well, this is the morning after election night, and we continue to collate and add up the results from across the country so that we can be the first to project provisionally who we believe has won this election. Of course, we're doing this scientifically, picking all the information as it comes through from our certified, credible correspondents across the nation. Now, the election result updates are brought to you by McDan Shipping, your total logistics partner, and NIIT, enroll for quality computer education in Ghana. Now, the official insurance partners for 2016's election headquarters is Phoenix Insurance, as well as Phoenix Life Assurance. Of course, you need to stay with us for all of the details as they unfold here. Our guest this morning is Ankuma, and of course we're breaking down the information as it comes through to us. Of course, throughout the night, we started to pick up information about how these results are stacking up. And we've already made the point about the fact that we're nowhere near a point where we can actually start to see clearly where things are going. But some trends are developing. Some trends are developing. We're seeing some results from key constituencies that, like you said, are the bellwether constituencies. But at this point, at this early point, when the NPP have already held a press conference saying that they've won, and the NDC have, come out to counter it as you would well expect, is there anything at all, with your analytical eye and your history and background of the elections, when you look at what is coming through, what are the main trends and patterns that you reckon are pointing towards one result or the other?
Evans is right. Watch Central, Greater Accra. I'm more conservative. I'll also look at Western and Bongahafo. I think they've been the game changers historically since 1992. Those four regions have been the game changers. Eastern Ashanti would go one way. Upper East, Upper West, Northern, Volta will go a certain way. But nothing is beginning to look very interesting. I think that the Bawumia factor on the Mampusi side of the vote is beginning to show that even though the NPP might have lost some constituencies, they are likely to gain overall in the northern region. So the northern region is an interesting place.
In terms of votes.
In terms of votes, and maybe in terms of MPs. But the region I'm watching is the Volta region. And people will be surprised. Volta looks predictable. Yes and no. Volta will still go for the NDC. It will still be the NDC's World Bank. But watch the conditionalities this World Bank will impose. And those conditionalities will be shown in the reduction in votes, if any, that the ruling party would score in the Volta region. That will tell you that maybe this is how the trend is going to go. So watch Greater Accra, that's great. Watch the rest. I am watching the votes from Volta region and comparing them with 2012. And if there are increases or decreases, that should tell you where the election is going
Prior
to
to
go.
the elections, we know that the main candidates, MPP, NDC, John Mahama, and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, all visited the Volta region, visited key or significant areas headed by key traditional areas, and the messages. You thought they reflected in the votes as well?
I believe so, but I even watched where people went on the last few days. Now, look, I was backing Hillary 100% to win. She lost.
Well,
Not all of us. There's a few who anyway. But one thing that hit me on the last days was that Hillary had about 8 people campaigning for her when Trump was just him and probably his wife and 2 other people. That showed you that the parties themselves knew that there were problems, that the Democrats themselves knew that there was a problem. Now, I watched the troubles of the president in the last few days. If you find a president or a person competing for an election, visiting what should be a comfortable zone or seat or constituency or region, 2 or 3 days or a day to the election, it should tell you what's going on. The fact that you could find the president still in the Volta region, still in Upper East, still in Upper West, still in Northern region, when ordinarily he should be focusing on Ashanti, Eastern, Western, Central, Greater Accra. On the days to the election, it should give you an indication that the parties are smarter than we think. That internally they know there's a problem. So these are some of the trends that I'll be interested in seeing as these results come out, to show whether my suspicions, sitting in my room alone and thinking for myself, my suspicions are coming up. But with what I saw through yesterday night and this morning, I think we all have a fair idea where this is going.
You think the people of the Volta region, who are the voters, you wanted to...
Actually, I was going to say about the Volta region, and in a moment we have to go to Wale Wale to find out about some more confusion. But where with the Volta region, I want to very quickly check this. You see, the electoral roll, the national electoral roll, swelled by 1.7 million people this year compared to the last. So what we would have expected to see in every constituency would be increased numbers. But it appears that even in the places where the president is winning, he's winning by smaller figures. And the NPP appears to be doing pretty much the same, but managing to gain more grounds. Let's very quickly check what's happening in Wale Wale before we continue our Volta regional analysis. Wale Wale is where our correspondent Erica Sari Ej has the latest on some confusion that appears to be happening because of delays. Eric, the details, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yesterday, the EC officials told the people to go home and come back today for the recounting of the presidential and then parliamentary elections. But today they are there, and still there's nothing showing that they want to give them the final results. So there is tension here. The army is trying to calm everything down, but still the people are saying they will not leave here until they hear the final results.
Right. And have the EC spoken about how they intend to resolve this matter?
They are not talking to anybody. They said they will take their time and do the thing in their own ways. So this is 2 weeks. Since yesterday, around 9 in the evening, up to now, they are still counting. And they even told the people to go home because they are tired. They want to rest more. They should go home, and later they come back again. They said, no, they won't go home again.
Who are the parliamentary candidates in this particular constituency?
Hello?
Who are the parliamentary candidates for this constituency?
Dr. Sari, who is for MPP, and then Abdallah for NDC.
Very well. And we'll come back to you for more updates as this matter unfolds. We can also go to Tamale Central now, where security has been intensified after some youth destroyed ballot boxes. Let's go across to Hashmeen Mohammed. Hashmeen, how did this happen?
Hello?
Yes, Hashmeen. Tell us how this happened.
Well, the presiding officer for these 2 polling stations, I understand from Gumani, brought their materials to the collation center, and then some irate youth accompanied the materials to the collation center to raise alarms that there were some materials which were not supposed to be in the ballot box, which are in the ballot box. So they raised the alarm, and then the youth rushed to the presiding officer and his team from the EC and attacked them and ended up destroying those ballot papers and then the ballot box. So as a result of that, the security were called in and they were able to bring the situation under control. But the confusion at the moment here at the Tamale Central Coalition Center is just the statement of poll has been entered by the various presiding officers. What the results that the presiding officers are having do not tally with what the party agents also have. So we've had instances where about more than 10 polling stations, they are still the parliamentary returning officer is finding it difficult to be able to resolve the confusion with regards to this problem in 10 polling stations here at the Tamale Central Coalition Center. Now, both the two major political parties, the NDC and then NPP, their candidates have stormed the place, and then it is even heightening the confusion now. Now, they are trying to go for a break because since 5 p.m. late yesterday, this confusion was there, and they have still not been able to resolve it. There are about 136 polling stations in Tamale Central, and from the scoreboard, they have not been able to collate even up to 10 polling stations. So it appears if this confusion continues to linger, then the results for Tamale Central will not be declared anytime soon.
Now, how many boxes have been destroyed?
Only two.
Two boxes?
Only two, but yes, but in terms of the confusion with regards to the statement of polls, it cuts across more than 20 polling stations. And this confusion is about how the presiding officers have entered the record as the ballots were cast for the various candidates, both presidential and parliamentary. So some are raising issues of overvoting, and some are also saying that there should be a recount. As of late last night, there were recounts of some polling stations, but that never satisfied one of the political parties, the NPP, and they are saying that this issue needs to be resolved. Now, the returning officer is saying that they will go into a meeting. If he's unable to resolve it, he will transfer it to its regional boss, and that is where they will be able to take a decision about the issue. The party agents, everybody is they are very tired. They have been here at the coalition center for more than 10 hours since yesterday, and they have been complaining.
Thank you, Hashmin. And of course, that's from Tamale Central, where 2 ballot boxes have been destroyed. If you are joining us via the Joy News channel, you would have seen some live images from that particular event.
A comprehensive coverage of the 2016 elections on your election headquarters, on TV, on radio, online and mobile.